Brian Mudd Show is on News Radio 610 WIOD.
Joining us now, talk about some of the pandemic-induced financial outcomes, Reed Allmand. He's an attorney, and you may follow him on Twitter, @Allmand Law. Well, Reed, let's take a look. Good morning. One of the concerns I've had is once these moratoriums are lifted on foreclosures, on evictions, we're going to begin to see the spigots open, and we could have a huge problem on our hands. Do you have an idea about how big the insolvency issue could be that we've yet to uncover?
Yeah, we do anticipate that it's going to be quite large. I mean, just here locally in my market, I mean, evictions and foreclosures are about 20% of what they were in 2019, and so we know that there is demand out there. People are behind on the mortgage and behind on their rent and other bills. And when these moratoriums lift and when these aids that the government's providing come to an end, we expect a large spike in bankruptcy filings.
Yeah, I mean, so to your point, Reed, what you're saying is, hey, even just during normal times, and 2019 was a great economy, right? So during a great economy, we have 80% fewer bankruptcies right now than even then, let alone people that are in the soup because of being out of work due to the pandemic or maybe earning less money.
Absolutely. I mean, until there's pressure from collections, most people want to avoid, the need for having to file. But once the pressure picks up, we expect filings to increase as well.
That's a big deal. Now, we learned, especially here in South Florida, during the housing crisis, during the previous recession, that having conversations on the front end or the single best path forward to trying to avoid, having to go down the path of bankruptcy or some of the worst insolvency issues. What is some of your advice right now to people that perceive that they could be in trouble once some of these moratoriums are lifted? Do we have you, Reed?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I would say the best thing to do is not to guess. I mean, many bankruptcy attorneys offer free consultation, and it's very important sometimes what you do leading up to the bankruptcy. And so getting some advice on pre-bankruptcy plannings and some ways to approach it can be very beneficial.
If we're talking about a surge in insolvency activity, how long does somebody typically have from the time where they hit insolvency to the time where they might be facing bankruptcy filings?
It depends on the type of debt. I mean, evictions, at least in Texas, and I believe in Florida too, they can happen rather quickly. So if you're behind a payment or two on your car and it's out for repossession, you're going to need to file, very quickly. If you're just kind of have a slow burn with credit cards that you just know you're not going to be able to pay off, it may take people a little bit longer before they make the decision.
What do you think is going to be the single biggest debt issue that causes the perceived surge in bankruptcy filings?
I think that the people who are behind on rent payments, I don't think we've ever seen anything like this where somebody potentially has not made a payment to their landlord since March or April, are still in the property. That there's thousands, if not millions, of people who are severely delinquent on the rent.
All right. I really appreciate the information and the time. And, hopefully people can go ahead and be making arrangements now and trying to figure out a path forward ahead of time. It's Reed Allmand. He's a bankruptcy attorney. And again, you may follow him on Twitter as well, @Allmand Law.